Ja na dούμε τι θα πει αυτός ο βλάκας. Δηλαδή εμένα. Let's see. And a good spiritual morning to you once again. I'm Father Cosmas. Thanks for joining me. I don't say my name. Why don't you say your name? I don't know. Let's try that again. And a good spiritual morning to you once again. Thanks for joining me today for a quick chat and, of course, our morning cup of coffee. Still in a fun mood. Having fun today. And the last video was a little heavy. I'm sure it was heavy. I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of flack for that one on food festivals. So let's do something lighter today. Let's do a review of a TV show that's been streaming. And I've been a fan of The Office. Not as much the original British series, because I'm not a fan of Ricky Gervais. But the American version, The Office with Steve Carell, it's a great show. Cringy. Got to like cringy. But the creators of that kind of put a spin out now called The Paper. And this is a new show. Basically, it's like a new version or a spin-off of The Office. It's supposed to be following the same kind of documentary format with even a similar character. One character that they've carried over, Oscar the accountant. And it's about a paper company, I think in Ohio. I'm not going to, give spoilers away, although maybe I should so you don't watch it, because it's terrible. Oh, Father, tell us what you really think. I usually do. I'm honest. I try not to be brutally honest, but I'm usually honest. And if it was good, I would tell you it's good. It's got all these reviews. They're like, oh, fantastic. I'm rewatching it already. But it's like, what's wrong with you people? This thing's awful. I don't think I laughed once. It's a comedy. It's supposed to be funny. And I'm like, I'm waiting. I watch a whole episode and I'm like, I didn't laugh once. I'm not to say laugh out loud funny, like a chuckle, a grin. I don't think I grinned. I don't think I smiled. I'm like, where's the funny part? It's over. And I thought, well, maybe it's just a little weak in the first couple episodes. Most sitcoms, or most series, they don't peak till like season 3, season 4. And I get that. Sometimes the first season's not great. But that's you looking back at it and comparing it to later seasons. When you still watch the first season, you still thought it was funny. Like if you watch The Office, I don't watch much of, if you rewatch, the reruns on whatever streaming, so I think it's on Peacock. If you watch it on Peacock, I don't watch season 1 too much. It's not the funniest of seasons. Season 4, 5, 6, later on, it's funnier. But when it came out, I watched those first episodes and I laughed and I thought it was funny and it was original. And it was laugh out loud funny because it was groundbreaking. We had never seen anything like that documentary format in that way. This thing, it's not funny. Actors, they're okay, not great. Characters aren't compelling. The writing's not good. There's just nothing really funny about it. And so you can watch it if you want. It's not like it's not clean. It's network TV. It's clean. It's just I can't recommend it because it's just not good. It's just not funny. And I watched a few episodes. I can't tell you that I've watched the whole season. I couldn't even get through the whole season. Honestly, it got so bad. I was watching it streaming on Peacock, and I have the version of that where you've got commercials. We've got to watch commercials. It's like 60-second or 80-second commercials. Some of the episodes, I just said, you know what, this isn't even worth the 60 seconds to come back to, and I just shut it off. It's that bad. So anyway, you can disagree with me if you like, and if you love the show and you're a huge supporter of the show, God bless you. There's something wrong with you, but God bless you. But it gets me thinking about, doing something for the sake of doing something. It's kind of like the creators said, well, we have a huge hit, and The Office has had a resurgence, the original, online, like streaming, I should say, only. Young people that weren't watching TV when it was on TV are now watching it later as it's in syndication and it's streaming, and they've become huge fans of it. So because of that popularity, people saw dollar signs and they said, well, let's do a spinoff. And then the people that are fans of The Office, they're gonna watch this. And so it's like, just because you can do something, maybe you shouldn't do it. And I think that's a good lesson for here's my rough segue to some sort of a spiritual take home for us. To think very carefully about the decisions that we make, to think very carefully about what we do and how we use our freedom. Our freedom, our free will, that's a gift. That's one of God's greatest gifts. And just because you can do something, you should really be careful about whether or not you should do it. I'm free to do a lot of things. And St. Paul's talks about that and writes about that, and scripturally, am I not free? He says. So it's like, just because I can do it, maybe that doesn't mean I should do it. And we should really think about that. I could say something to somebody. Hopefully there's no law stopping me from doing that. I'm not going to get thrown in jail for doing that. I can do it. But just because I can do it, should I do it? Maybe I should think about that. Just that pause and thought and consideration before I act. That's an integral part of the spiritual life. And being that sort of introspective and reflective and really considering the totality of the situation. Before I'm going to say something, I should think about that before I do it. Let me think about it for a second. I don't have to say it. Wait a second. Let me think about it. Just because I can, maybe I shouldn't. Whatever it might be. I can go out every night and I can have a steak dinner. Maybe I can afford to do that. I don't think that's going to be very healthy for me. Just because I can do it, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe it's not a good thing. So it's that idea of maybe I should be trying to control and self-control, self-editing. That mechanism, that's a good mechanism. In the spiritual life, you want that mechanism in place. You want that process. And I know a lot of people that have no self-editing process. They think it and boom, it's out. And they say it. Or they want to do it and they just go do it. And it sort of take a step back and ask yourself that question. It's kind of like I wonder who is sitting in the room when what network executives okayed the paper. They sort of said, well, this is a great idea. The Office is popular. It's got a huge following. It's growing among young people. There's a chance there to make a buck. Let's put something together and put it out there and see if it's any good. And so they make the pilot. Maybe they ordered 10 shows. I assume they make the pilot first. And then someone saw it and said, this is great. Who sat in that room and looked at that and thought, just because we can do this, we should? And who sat there and said, guys, I know we might try to make a buck, but this is garbage. I don't think we should do it unless you retool it. And sometimes our spiritual life needs some retooling, needs some self-editing, needs some self-control. Just because you think it, don't say it. Ask yourself, do I have to say this? Does the person I'm going to say it to, do they really have to hear it? If I'm going to say it, do I have to say it this way? Maybe there's a nicer way of saying it. I can't tell you how many people say things to me and they don't think about how they say it. And again, it's trying to connect. It's trying to be funny, trying to be sarcastic. Sarcasm, it's one of the biggest sins of our time. I don't know why, but people are sarcastic. They're trying to use humor to be funny, and really we end up just hurting people. And the real sort of caustic, strange result is we're hurting people while we're laughing. That's what makes it even more just insidious and sinister and, quite honestly, demonic. It's the worst thing when someone walks by and says something to me that they think is funny and they're laughing, and it's absolutely hurt my feelings. And all I can kind of do is smile and and just keep walking and just, gee, thanks. That was hilarious. At least that was funny. The paper, it's not funny. So self-editing and self-control, that's huge for us in the spiritual life. I wish the network executives at NBC or wherever, whoever, whatever conglomerate in the sky produced this thing would have done that. And hopefully we do that in the spiritual life. Control yourself, right? Just sort of kind of have that running in the back of your head. You know what? When in doubt, don't say it right away. Let me think about that. Let me mull that over for a second. Let me edit myself. Let me control myself. And maybe then I'm not going to hurt somebody. And if I'm not going to hurt somebody, that's a blessing and that's a benefit to me. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to be out there just, a verbal machine gun, just mowing people down. and doing the drive-by shootings as we always do, just kind of passing by somebody and just taking shots at them. Self-editing, self-control, that's important in the spiritual life. And when we do that, we help people and we help ourselves grow in Christ, and we do that each and every day. Amen.